Or microphone. How are you feeling physically after playing big minutes in that series?
Feel good. Feel pretty good. A hard fought series, but I'm in a good place.
What kind of confidence does a series win like that give this group?
It does give us confidence. Going against a team as tough as they were and with the abilities that they had right off the bat, I do believe it gives our group, even more confidence.
How important will this week be for you and then for Rob as well, and everyone just kind of to get back to peak physical abilities?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. It's for our group to continue to get healthy. For Rob to continue to get his legs underneath him, and for us to work. We have a good opportunity, a few days of practice, and really tighten up on all our things and be ready for that next round. So it's a very unique opportunity.
This is the last one for me. What stood out to you? What surprised you about that series and how well you guys played?
How engaged and how much we understood what we needed to do defensively. I feel like as a team, we're really engaged defensively, understanding what we wanted, the kind of shots we wanted them to take, the things that we wanted to do. Guys were really, buying in on that end and paying attention to details, making adjustments on the fly. I feel like Coach really put us in a really good position to be successful in that part of the ball. So I was just really impressed with our defense and being able to switch coverages from timeout to timeout and make adjustments like that on the fly when things weren't working how we wanted them. So that's the thing that I was most impressed with.
Regardless of whether it's Milwaukee or Chicago, you're going to be in for probably a more physical series. Just how much of an adjustment's that going to be?
This was a physical series. This one was too. I mean, I understand, your question, that they were hard fought. I mean, I know that we were doing a lot of the, I guess, physical play, but they also were too. This did not feel like a first round series in that level. So, it's going to be, obviously, it's the playoffs. It is going to be another challenge, and those teams are bigger teams. There's no question about it. But it's something that that's how we play. That's at the end of the day, that's what we do. That's how we play. Defensively, that's who we are. So, looking forward to it.
Just how good have you guys become at just adjusting to different teams, adjusting to different game plans?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I feel like has made our defense, be one of the better defenses in the league, and it's being able to adjust, being able to understand how we want to guard different guys, but also, the versatility on that end. Grant, I'll point him out, but just his ability to be able to guard small guys, big guys, just all over the place. His presence was huge for us in this past series. And down the line, all our guys take that challenge. And it's something that's made the biggest difference for our group. And that's why I feel like we can adjust to any style that we need to.
This time of year, it's sometimes not the thing you want to do by looking back. You really do often want to look ahead. But if I can have you look back for just a moment, are you surprised with how much your team so far has achieved and how you guys are gelling to this point compared to where you may have been several months ago?
At this point, no, I'm not surprised. Just because, I feel like we we started working towards, to be in these positions as a group, and a few months, I think it was like late January and even beginning of February, might have been Abby, I don't know. Somebody asked me about, well, yeah, you guys have won some games, but it's been against teams that have been depleted, teams that weren't so good and things like that. And my whole thing was like, I feel like we found something with our group, with how we want to play. And once you find that identity and the things that you want to do things, it just makes that it doesn't matter who you're playing against. It's just kind of like, that's how you're going to do it. And you're going to go about it every day. And that's how you're going to play. And I feel like a light bulb kind of clicked for our group. It was like, oh, this is how we need to play offensively. This is how we need to play defensively. Let's keep it rolling. And I think that's what's happened. So at this point, no, I'm not surprised. And I'm encouraged, and I feel like we are going to continue to get better. And that's something that's hard to do because sometimes you reach a certain point, but I am confident in the group and what's ahead of us.
And as you said, it may not matter who you're playing in terms of your effort and your execution on the court, but the matchup's a little bit different, whether it's the Bulls or the Bucks. Do you have any thought on who your defense matches up better against?
They're just different teams. And at this point, we're fortunate to be in this position and be in the position that we have to wait and see. So we're ready to go. That's all I can tell you. We'll be ready to go when we need to play. Not today, but we'll be ready to go when we need to play. Yeah.
Depending on tonight's game, you guys might play this weekend. Do you prefer these long layoffs? I know you said you're not ready to go, obviously, today, but do you like to have time to prepare, or would you rather just continue playing back to back like you were in the first round of the series?
There can be benefit in both, but for our group, I'm very happy that we have this time, for us, and going in more prepared, having good practice sessions. For us, I feel like it's very beneficial. So we're fortunate to be in this position.
Guarding KD requires an incredible attention to detail, trying to take away his catches, mess with the timing of his footwork, he's going to a shot, stuff like that. Does that help prepare you? Or I guess, is your brain kind of firing on all cylinders in that regard compared to usual first round series when you then head to the second round series and you got to face another elite player like that?
Yeah, no question. It just challenges you. KD is one of the top guys in our game. And to your point, yes, we're the way that we're thinking, the way that we're the edge that you need to have. We had it from in the first round from the beginning, understanding that, we couldn't give anything less, because if you did, we may not be in this position.
Now, you've been shooting a lot better from three the past couple of months. What kind of went into that change, and how does that kind of obviously help you guys on offense, the space the floor?
I mean, it definitely helps us on offense. Obviously, I feel like it continues to open the floor more for all our guys. And it's just for me continuing to get comfortable, even though that obviously I'm back here and that I have chemistry with the guys and everything. I'm in different positions now in the way that I'm being used. So I think early in the year, it took me a while to, just to kind of find my way offensively. And I feel like once, I started having a clearer understanding of the things that I needed to do, things, became better for me in that end.
Al, two questions. One, what prompted you to grab Jaylen like that and kind of hold him midcourt at the end of the game, for when you guys had clinched the game? Because that's become a meme now, the support, what you do with your friends, got your friends back. What prompted you to do that? You're not usually an emotional guy like that on the floor, but what prompted you to do that?
Well, that was a very emotional moment. It was a very hectic. I don't know how much time went through there, but it was intense. It was intense, and Jaylen made the pass. It was very close call, could have been turned over. And obviously we scored. They called the timeout, right? At that point, they called the timeout. And like my biggest thing was, my first reaction was like, I kind of saw in his eyes, like, so I just went over to him and just made sure that, I'm there with you. We're going to get through this, we're good type thing. We're all continuing to, to learn, to figure things out. But at that moment, it was just kind of like, let me go over to my guy. There's relief, because we got the basket. And now let's move on to the next play and let's finish this game.
Secondly, a lot of you guys have pointed to that December 31st win over Phoenix as kind of when things started to change. But then a week later, you guys lost to the Knicks, 25-point lead, national TV game. What happened after that? Because you guys are 37-10 It seemed like that was the game that you guys said you were kind of fed up with losing those big leads and kind of losing those types of games.
Yeah, and even before that, like we played Orlando here at home and JV went for 50, but like that was like a game that we barely snuck out to. At that point, I'm not sure. I really just think that, Coach Udoka was, he was on us, harping on us November, December, into January, and things that we needed to be better, things that we needed to do. And sometimes with groups, like you get to a point that it's either going to click and you're going to, start moving forward, or you're just going to kind of stay in that way and not much is going to happen. So I feel like with our group, it started to click. Also, the one thing to keep in context before that, there was, it was those months were hectic with guys in and out of the lineups, injuries, COVID, all that stuff. Like that was a part of it. But I feel like at that point in January, I feel like we started to understand kind of how coach wanted us to play, what he wanted us to be. And we started to put it together. And then when we started seeing some success, we just continued to get better at it. And he was still staying on us. But I feel like that's when, things started to click a little more.
I felt like part of the game plan in this last series was tiring down, Kevin, Kyrie, making them guard, making some of the guys that maybe aren't as equipped defensively guard, attacking them. Can you kind of take me into the process of just how methodical you guys were offensively?
I wouldn't say that we were trying to, make him tired. It was just, we just wanted to make everything difficult, everything hard. And we're going to play our way. So for us, it was just being very purposeful, executing on offense, getting the shots that we wanted, defensively being very solid, making sure that, there were incredible talents. So understanding that whoever's guarding them, it's not only on them, that all the rest of us are engaged and we're there to support. And that's kind of what we did. So maybe, as the series wore on, it was like they continuously saw how consistent we were. There wasn't, everybody understood what their job was and what we needed to do every time. It wasn't like, oh, it's just this time you're going to be by yourself against Kyrie Irving. Like, no, it was like everybody, every time was engaged in the positions they needed to be, in the spots that they needed to be. So when it's like that, it's really hard on the opponent. And it speaks to the focus level of our group, the commitment of all our guys. And that starting with Jason, with us, with Jason Tatum and the way that he rose up in this series and took on the challenge. And he's, this year defensively, he's taken a huge leap and we've all seen it, but it's just special to see, because he was the one that set the tone for us.
When did you see a click for him? Because that seemed to be one of the things you talked about. Ime was on you guys, the one-on-one play. I think the isolation was some of the things that hurt the offense earlier in the year. In this series, the ball is just flying around everywhere. When did you kind of see that change?
I'm really not sure, but it was kind of in one of those, to Gary's point, it was like in January, like it was somewhere around there that, we just continued to you know, it seemed that everything started rolling there. Well, and even going back to that Phoenix game, when Rob had a triple double and he had all those assists, and we were cutting and we were moving, and it was fun to play. And I think us seeing that, I just think that all of us kind of understood that was going to be, you know, that was going to be the way to go.
All right, continue the marathon. Ime mentioned that you guys have had players only meetings monthly, gotten together as just the guys. Have you ever done that before? How beneficial have they been, and what is it like in those meetings?
I don't like using the word meetings, you know, the whole meetings thing, and you know, what I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's just, you know, I just think we figured out what we needed to do and how we needed to play. And we're at the point now that, you know, we can hold each other accountable. And if guys see something, we can call each other out. And I'm not going to make a very big deal out of those things. And it is what it is. No, I know what you're saying, but like, it's just, you know, yeah, no, we're rolling, and, you know, if we need to say something, we're saying it, and just enjoying this run.
One Zoom question, Chris Gasper.
Hey, Al, you know, Ime was just talking about, even though this was a sweep, it was 4 games won by a combined 18 points. And I know during the year, close games were something that you guys had struggled with a little bit. So how much of your ability to be able to close out close games now is an effect of increased trust on the offensive end?
Increase what? Increase trust. Yeah, I do believe that has a lot to do with it, because at the end of the games, we're making the right plays, the right decisions, the right reads for them, you know, and it's something that that experience from early in the year and throughout, you know, I feel like we've all grown in that area, and it's something that for us to, you know, to continue to be successful, it's something we have to continue to feel, to read, be able to see the plays, and, you know, at times when to go score, and times when to kick it out, things like that. And JT and JB and Smart, they've been doing a good job of that when they're being put in those positions, making plays when we need them.
Thank you very much for your time, Al.
Yeah, thank you.